Good afternoon, everybody. Wee Paddy from across the shuck, and another video today. And today's video is the Real Steel Gerfalcon. That's the H5 Gerfalcon. And as you know, Real Steel at the minute are just really knocking it out of the park with their budget knives, and budget and a wee bit up from budget as well. The one that they've been showing an awful lot of at the minute is the 801, which is a beautiful knife. I've gone for the one today. It's my only real steel it's the only real steel I've got. And I hadn't done a review on it. I got this as a gift from Stasa, and this is the first I've got to do the review on it. And it's the first I've carried one. And I have to say, maybe I'm a bit late to the party, but by goodness, they do a great job in their fit and finish. Absolutely. So this is a knife. It's a flipper. It's G10 handle. It's stainless steel on the back, but it's not a heavy knife for a stainless steel. This knife weighs just 4 ounces, and that with a blade of 3¼ inches, which I think is amazing for a steel made knife. You think what the old ones used to weigh when they had steel on their handles and backs. So there's a look at the knife, and I think it's a really pretty knife. It's the most lovely blade shape, not aggressive, but sort of sporty looking is the words I think I'm going to use, is sporty. They have actually done their thumb studs. They have done the lovely little black outline to go with the scales, and when they do different colours, and they do different colours in the scales, they always match the thumb studs and the over travel stop at the back to go with it, which is just a lovely touch and absolutely lovely that you don't need to do. If they'd just done that in stainless steel, would have accepted it, but they've gone ahead and done it. The actual screws themselves all seem fairly good. They're not brilliant, but they're all fairly good and fairly deep. There's a deep carry pocket clip on it, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you a wee drop on the length and we'll run through it. As you can see, there's an over travel stop there, and you can have it tip up or tip down, and it's only on the back side, obviously, because your show side. But even look at the show side. There's the show side, the show side. There's your lanyard hole. Look at that. There's a lovely steel liner that goes through the back here, right through. But it's actually the outside of it. The outside of it is covered in a lovely steel ring, which I think again is another thing that they've done that they probably didn't need to do, but yet they've gone ahead and done it. And this knife is usually under $50. Do you know what I mean? So that's a hell of a good price for a knife that they're going to go to this effort to make you want to buy it. And absolutely, I see no problem with that price whatsoever. The underside of it is, but now don't forget this is a liner lock, but they have even gone ahead. I don't know whether I can get you to see that or not. Can you? Yes, you can. I think you can see it there. They've milled out as much as they can on the other side of this, and then there's a fairly fat G10 handle. So anyway, sorry, we'll get to the length of the. It's a flat grind. The full length of the knife is 7¾ which is 19.5 centimeters. The blade length is 3¼ and it's nearly all cutting edge, which is 8 centimeters. It's right up to the nearest point. The blade thickness is 0.113 millimeters. The height of the knife when closed is 1.38 inches. And the depth of the handle is 0.40, so it's just a skinny knife, and that's 104 or 10.4 millimeters and 4 ounces, 113 grams in weight. She's a flipper and obviously a frame lock, and they have a nice cut through. It's been cut down so you can get straight through, and there's no problem in closing this knife. Absolutely beautiful. Now they're on bearings, or sorry, on washers, but look at this. Oh, just get over that old travel stop. She just closes lovely. Hard to believe that is not bearings, because it is so gentle and you can take it down at your own pace. Lovely, lovely action. Great knife. What else can I say about it? It flips beautifully, as you can see in my hand. I don't have to do, there's the light switch, which I don't particularly like, but it still works. Push button and it shoots out like a rocket. Absolutely lovely. And I'll just show you, there's a deep carry pocket clip, but it's not, they haven't taken it fully. I think that's about the only thing that I think they could have moved that up a wee bit. I'll show you what it looks like in your pocket. This was another thing that was kindly given to me by Stasa, and I've forgotten to use it, which is not unusual for me. So there you are in the pocket. It's fairly deep carry, but I think they could have gone, they could have done an roll over the top and made that just even more special than what the knife is. So again, push button and she just shoots out like a rocket. I like the markings on the blade. I like the real steel, and I also like how small they've kept it. It's 14C28N Sandvik stainless steel, which is the higher end of the two Sandvik models that are used for pen knives or pocket knives around the world at the moment. They sort of use the 12C27 or the 14C28. And it's quite an upgrade from the 12C27. The edge retention, I would put this at probably very close to VG10. Now, that's just my opinion. Very close to VG10. But it takes a lovely, screaming sharp edge, and Stasa gave me a lovely edge in this. I haven't had to touch it at all. I have stropped it a couple of times this week. Again, I haven't put this through a whole lot of hard use, to be honest with you. It's just my normal little household duties. But the 4 ounces, it doesn't feel like a 4-ounce knife. I don't know why that is. Do you know the way some knives just feel like it? What's the blade centering? It is sort of handle heavy. I'll have to say it is handle heavy. But in hand, you don't feel it. It makes the knife even lighter because it's handle heavy. You can work with a knife, and there's so many options. There's a sneak up choil there. I don't know whether they meant it as a sneak up choil, but you can sneak up there with the front of your finger, no problem, and get up here. The jimping here, which it's quite purposeful, to be honest. It's on the, and a lot of the times I don't find this normally any good, but that's not bad. That's holding my finger fairly adequate. But there's also, it's like a, there we are, the harpoon sort of shape. So you can get your thumb, you can sneak up and get your thumb right up in there to do close work. So there we go. I'll just have you a look around it. Even the spacers are nicely shaped. They're not just straight up and down. Everything about it is very well finished. There's no sharp edges that I can feel around this knife. I haven't had any hot spot whatsoever. And I always find that that's a sign of good design when you've got a knife like this with a stainless steel back. It looks very industrial, but when you grab it and when you hold it, I feel absolutely nothing of the back of what's going on in that knife. I don't feel it at all. The front, obviously there's nothing there to disturb, but that is a really easy grip, and I could work for hours with that. So that's a plus point, a real big plus point on a knife this size, because this knife can do work. So I'll bring in a couple of alternatives for this knife that I have. I'm going to bring one in that's about the same price range, and from another, it's made in China by an American company, but it's about the same size, a little bit bigger, but it's got a lot of the same features except for the flipper. This is made with 8CR13, and we've been having a sort of a debate recently, what is there a big difference? What is the difference? And if you're a sharpener, I don't think there is a big difference. But, I mean, I bought this when I first came around, and I still believe this is a smashing knife. A great EDC knife, the Tenacious. Absolutely love it. Nothing wrong with it. This black coating is amazing. You can't damage it. Well, I haven't been able to. Now, again, I don't beat my knives. This is much more comfortable in the hand. I like the fact that it's got a flipper. The steel is better and lasts a bit longer. Which would I choose between these two? They're both roughly the same price. Let's say roughly. I will take this every single time because of the extra that they've gone into in the better steel. The fit and finish, I think, is so much better. There's nothing wrong with this fit and finish, but there's nothing. I've even got a Kershaw deep carry pocket clip on the back of this, which is smashing. It really makes this much easier to carry. I don't know whether I've ever shown that before, but yeah, I don't mind what's sticking out of my pocket as long as it's comfortable. So yes, this knife is definitely, a good comparison as in size and what it does. Now, let's bring in something that's Chinese, and it's a bit bigger, a bit more industrial, but yet this one only costs about $20 compared to the near 50 for this one. 440 steel against the Sandvik steel. This is better. without a doubt, but they're both good. They're both users, they're both good. This one is over 4 ounces. I think it's about 4.5 ounces, but a real good fit in the hand again. You don't feel any discomfort. I can use that for hours as well. Bigger blade stock, not by much, bigger handle by far. But again, there's enough on both handles that I can get a full handle grip on them. And last but not least, this is one of my workers that I have had from nearly the beginning. This is the Land 910 Plus, and this has the 12C27. It's about the same size as the Gerfalcon. Again, they're both made in China. San Remo makes this one, real steel this one. About the same size. This is just a thumb stud. But the difference, you can really tell the difference in the steel. There is a marked difference. This is below 440. This is what I would say is above 440. But you can tell that this is about 8CR13 as far as I'm concerned. I don't get great edge retention with this, and I have to sharpen it a lot. But then again, if I'm going to do any sort of half-decent work during the day, I'll have to sharpen this as well. I might have to do this maybe 1.5 times. I don't know whether you can call that a difference, but look, they're both good steels, and they both work as long as you can sharpen. And this is what I'm going to harp on about. Especially if you're in budget knives, you have to learn to sharpen. You have to make it worthwhile. To make these budget knives really worth their money, you don't want to be paying somebody to sharpen it. Find the easiest, cheapest way to get an edge on it, because you're going to use these. This isn't something I'm going to put away in a locker. These are all users. Most of my knives are users. Very few, except these two, very few I don't use. So that's the offerings of other knives against this. Would I recommend this knife? I recommend this knife 100%. I haven't had the 801 and it's got rave reviews. Well, if it's as good as this one, I'm going to get one. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to get one. I thank Stasa for giving me this to the channel. He gave me a couple of knives and I really appreciate it. This especially has sort of, when I got them, I put this one sort of, not to the back, but I wasn't enthused to do it because I had never tried a real steel. What a mistake I made, because I missed a very good knife that's 50 quid and under, which is a good budget price, but this would be top of the range in budget as far as I'm concerned. I know you can get D2 now, but this is where I'm saying, you know, you're going to have to start being picky now, because the blade differences are coming down, and you don't want all D2 in your system. So the more you can learn to sharpen, the more your whole knife collection can benefit from having so many different steels and learning the intricacies of the budget steels, because there's definitely pros and cons for either or. So there we go. Recommended 100% by wee Paddy. Whatever the stock that holds, I do. It is a lovely shaped blade, and I hope I have shown you how free. Everything they thought of with, you know, the knife user, the end user. It is just beautiful, and it's as easy with the thumb studs. Oh, he says, mucking it up. It's as easy with the thumb studs as it is a flipper. So, last look. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Cup of tea time. I'm away. Take care. Bye bye.